Hi guys! Welcome to my winter wonderland! Oh my god, isn't this amazing? How are you guys all doing? Everyone all right? I know I'm enjoying the storm, but well, I like many. It's raining inside my house right now. There's so much snow in Chicago. First of all, I'll try to add some pictures at the end of this, but like cars are buried and you open your door and you can't see cars on the streets. Like you just close the door again, right? And there's so much snow on the buildings and in the drain pipes. Everything's frozen. Sheets of ice frozen down our buildings that the folks that are doing snow removal on top of buildings are very happy today. Masonry, all of my masonry friends are really happy because there's a lot of work coming. My house included. It's raining inside my house right now. The water is starting to melt because it's warm enough to snow. This is why I'm excited also, because I get to come outside. It's been very, very cold and lots of snow, so a little too dangerous to go outside, but not today. But with that warmth, it's melting the snow on the side of my house and it's coming inside. And so it's raining and there's nothing I can do about it because you have to wait. You either have to get someone out for snow removal, which, try to compete against the rest of the city. Wait till it melts, finishes, thankfully, where it's leaking is our mudroom. The only thing that can damage is the walls, and it's fixable. Everything in life is fixable, right? So, now I say that as someone who likes to fix things, so I'm packed up the dog and here I am enjoying my winter wonderland. Welcome. Another reason I'm so excited is because I'm in the park down the street from my house. So first of all, I decided that I just had a lovely cup of tea. My morning was living my dream of all the things I wish you could do. When I retired, one of my dreams was that I wanted to wake up in the morning when my body woke up. I didn't want to set an alarm clock. I didn't want an alarm clock to wake me. I just wanted to do it when my body was ready. And when I did, I wanted to spend 10 minutes in bed, just laying at the ceiling, naturally, waking up, allowing yourself the luxury to just hang out and not jump out of bed immediately, get in the shower, get in the coffee, that we've all done for how long, right? And then on top of that, I wanted to read. So maybe a chapter or two of a book, bubble bath, go to an exercise class, start my day. That was my dream of retirement. And I got a little bit of it. But I'm making that dream come true again. So this morning, that's exactly what I did. I woke up, I allowed myself to stare at the ceiling, had a cup of coffee, which is a luxury today because it doesn't make me sick. And then I read a book, had a bubble bath, came downstairs, saw that it's still raining in my house. So I decided that I didn't want the vibe to be lost. Oh man, I am just full of love for community today. First of all, check out this in the park. Like, I don't know if you can see behind me, but here we go. It's actually like somewhat plowed. Like, this park is accessible still and it's not just the city doing it, it's neighbors coming out. I mean, this week we get a really bad rap here in Chicago about our parking. And it's true. I mean, let the games begin at the beginning of winter. When you spend hours shoveling your car out on the street, you expect to come home and park in your rewarded spot because you shoveled it out. And so you leave things. We leave chairs and all kinds of things. The game's on, right? Like, I shoveled this, I'm marking it, it's mine. Well, as we saw this week, the snow began, and those that do not know the rules of the games, I walked past someone had their windshield smashed in because they took someone's spot. So yeah, that's true. However, we also have the most amazing community-minded folks too. So I went out in my alley this week after the huge snowstorm, and I thought, hey, you know, I've got to go to a doctor's appointment, so I can do this. I can drive in the snow, no problem. And so I went out all night. I was shoveling because I'm healthy enough to do that. So I'm shoveling the garage. My wife's shoveling the garage. As long as we can just get to a main street, it's going to happen. So I go out the next morning. My wife says, hey, I shoveled someone out, but you might want to take a look. I'm like, okay, no problem. I got this, right? I go out to my garage. I open the door. I'm watching it. Snow. Like, my car can't even clear this. Like, it can't even. And my neighbor, who's a cop, he had to go to work, right? So he had pulled out of his driveway or out of his garage into the alley and made it to like 2 feet, totally stuck. The most amazing thing though, and this would happen even outside of the pandemic, but I think in the pandemic, there's so many bored people that the minute he got stuck, he had like 6 guys with shovels around him going, all right, we got this. All right, there we go. You know, and literally there's people that are just walking around willing to help others because 1, very generous. 2, it's a pandemic. I mean, my wife is out. I think she signals it's okay, it's time. So as soon as it starts snowing, she's out at like 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when, you can do it at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, I hear her go out, and then my neighbor's like, oh yeah, she rang the bell, and then she's out, and he's out, and it's so funny. Anyways, community oriented. What a beautiful experience. These people dug him out of his spot, told me don't even try it, which of course I wasn't going to. But then the phone chain started. I started getting all these texts from neighbors who are like, hey, listen, I hear you have to go to the doctor. You know, our car's on the street. We can get you there. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Like, how awesome is that? That's so cool. Something else I've been doing today, which is got me loving the whole idea of community. I don't know about you guys, but my heart's kind of been a little broken since the pandemic started. I really thought that when an alien invaded the world, that the world of humans would come together and say, we support each other as humans and let's do this together. You know, very Independence Day type of thing. But that didn't happen, which is very sad. So my heart was filled this morning when Beto O'Rourke from Texas reached out and is looking for volunteers to call the elderly and infirm in Texas and just do a check-in, make sure that they're okay. Do they have power? Do they have water? So they can collect that information, but really checking in. Are you okay? And I understand how valuable those phone calls are, for sure. So how exciting when he put out this thing of like, I mean, not exciting that we need it, but he put out a request, come together, please, call our elderly. How wonderful is that? And so I raised my hand and I signed up for it, and I spent the morning calling old people in Texas and asking them if they're okay. And I feel like I'm doing something for my community. I'm participating, and I'm outside of my own head. I'm not thinking about those MRIs and CT scans that I have on Monday and the chemo I have on Tuesday. You thought you got rid of me. Haha. I wanted to add a quick note to this. I'm going to put the information in the description, but when I say things like I'm volunteering, I'm homebound, but I'm still finding ways, right? And people always ask me, how do you find them? So I want to share that. I want to share the link in case they do this again. But for those of you that are maybe a little afraid to do something like this, right? A little nervous to call strangers, totally reasonable, makes sense. I just wanted to show you, you don't necessarily need a computer for their system. It was a computer or an Android pad. It didn't work on iPad, or your phone. They have a wonderful little training session. So you sign up, they send you an email, you go through this little video training session, and then it is so simple. Literally, I am sitting here, I click a button, it makes the phone call for me, I say hello, they have suggested script, and there's just a few questions that I'm asking. We're checking in. Are you okay? Do you have heat? Do you have water? What can I do for you? That's it, right? The first phone call or two, you'll be nervous. Of course, you're calling strangers, but you're calling strangers as their neighbor. I'm in Chicago calling people in Texas because they are still my neighbor. So work through your fear. I promise you that the people at the other end are going to be so grateful to get I cannot tell you how many people are just so incredibly grateful that somebody is reaching out to them. And whatever your politics are, sure, Beto O'Rourke is a Democrat. To me, he's a man doing his job. He sees a problem and he reaches out to the community and says, hey, let's fix this. Let's do something about it. So anyways, I'm going to go back to calling some more folks now that I went out for a walk and got refreshed. I'll talk to you guys later.